What's up, guys? Crypto Noah back with another strategy video. In this video, we're going to be talking about all things taking profits. I guess you can consider this a follow-up to my Master the Art of Taking Profits video, and there I talked about the 3 triggers that you need so that you can know when to take profits. This video is more focused on the how to take profits. So in this video, I'm going to cover the 3 ways you can split up your portfolio to take profits to ensure that you can sell at the prices that you want to sell and not have to worry about any BS. And this is strictly about crypto, taking profits in crypto. For stocks and all that, it's a lot easier. So before we get started, I do have to say none of this is financial advice. These are my own perspectives, research, and opinions, and they should be treated as such. So without further ado, let's jump straight into the video. Now guys, definitely watch that first video I referenced if you haven't already. It'll give you a good framework so that this one makes sense. So you want to divide your take profit strategy into 3 different silos. Let's talk about the first one. The first way you can take profits is to just sell manually on a decentralized exchange or a exchange. So I recommend if you use something like TradingView or something like Deck Screener, you can set alerts that come straight to your phone so that when your price target is hit, you can go to your computer or wherever you have your crypto and be able to sell. Or if it's on a centralized exchange, you can log into your Coinbase or your Robinhood or your Kraken or your Gemini and you can sell manually. Now, obviously, there is a problem with this strategy. There's upsides and downsides to all of these, but you want to do them so that you can make sure that you're covered, right? And I'll explain that. So the downside to doing this is that if it just nicks your price, what if it goes down before you can get to your computer? Then you didn't get to sell it at the level. You have to wait till it go back up if it goes back up, or maybe you sell it at a lower price and didn't get the profits that you wanted. Another problem is that if you go to try to take profits manually on a centralized exchange, if you're at the peak of the bull or the depths of the bear, exchanges go down because they can't handle the massive volume and volatility for everyone trying to either buy a lot or sell a lot, right? Perfect example, during COVID, when Bitcoin dropped to below 3K, I was on my Coinbase for like an hour straight trying to buy it, but I literally just couldn't, right? I'm sure there were some people who could that they catered to, but everyday people wasn't able to buy it. And then also when Bitcoin went up to 67 or 69K in 2021, I wasn't able to sell. I had to wait till it got back to the high 50s, right? Exchanges go down, but decentralized exchanges never go down, right? But you have to worry about making sure your funds are secure and all that stuff. And I've made videos on how to keep your portfolio secure. Just go through the channel and find them. Another thing with centralized exchanges, they can get hacked. And this is why we preach you don't want to keep all of your funds on a centralized exchange. It may not be a bad idea to keep some on some reputable ones, such as Coinbase, such as Gemini, that have insurance policies, even though they're not super good. You know, they're not going to be covered on everything. And last time I checked, the hot wallets are insured 2%, but cold storage is insured much more. But when you just have a regular Coinbase account, your funds are on their hot wallets. So only 2% is insured last time I checked. Now, the second way to take profits is to use limit orders, right? You can use on-chain limit orders, which I wouldn't recommend because they're not as reliable yet. There's been times where I've had limit orders and the price got hit, but the order just didn't fill. So we are still in the dial-up stages of the blockchain. That won't be a problem forever. But I don't know if it'll be solved by the time we get into the peak of the bull market. But on-chain limit orders, they work just fine. You use the limit order on Coinbase, on Kraken, or whatever centralized exchange that you're using. And essentially what you're doing is saying, hey, let's say you want to sell ETH when it hits 10K. You specify the price you want to sell it at, 10K, and you can pick the asset you want to sell into, whether it be Bitcoin or a stable coin such as USDC or USDT. This way, you don't have to be by a computer and you don't have to worry about, doing anything manually. Your order will fill and then you don't have to worry about it. The only downside to this is if the centralized exchange gets hacked, right? So that's the downside to this strategy. Now, let's cover the third way. The third way is to use yield farming as limit orders, and this allows you to make passive income whilst you wait on your price target to be hit. So let me break down what yield farming is in the capacity I'm talking about here. So it's 4 ways to get a yield: staking on blockchains, validated networks such as the ETH 2.0 beacon chain. You get paid a yield to secure the network. Staking your funds on borrowing and lending platforms such as Aave, where they loan out your funds and give you a yield. Staking your funds on insurance platforms such as Nexus Mutual. Your liquidity is used to fill insurance premiums. But the way we're talking about here in the most profitable way is staking your funds on decentralized exchanges so that you can act as a market maker. So like, for example, you can go into an ETH USDC pool, and anytime someone goes on, let's say Uniswap, and they trade from USDC to ETH or ETH to USDC in your pool, you make passive income as long as price is within your range, assuming you're using something called concentrated liquidity, which I recommend, which we talk about on this channel all the time. It allows you to specify the price range where you want your liquidity to be used in, and this makes your capital more efficient. So you can say, hey, let's say, going back to the same example, you want to take profits when ETH is at 10K. You can set your range from $2,500 to $10,000, and no matter how long it takes for it to reach that price, you're making passive income until it gets reached. Now, what you would do is use something called Aperture Finance, and it allows you to do different things with your liquidity pools, one of which is limit orders. So you can say, hey, as soon as the price of ETH hits 10K, take me out of the pool. When you go out of range, that's considered going out of range because it's hitting the top of your range. Once you go out of range to the upside, you're going to be in 100% USDC, because yield farming is like a limit order for the underperforming asset. If you go out of range to the downside, you're going to be in 100% ETH, because ETH is the underperformer. And this is also a way to use limit orders to buy the dip. This is a take profit video, but it's the same thing on the downside. So you just program in there, as soon as it hits this price, take me out. If you're in ETH USDC, you're going to be in 100% USDC, and your fees in ETH and USDC for however long you were in that pool, assuming you didn't claim. Now, the downside to this one is that when you're taking profits, price is moving through each tick. So it's not like, oh, sell all my ETH at this price. It's selling it as it's going up, but it's probably going to take ETH a long time to hit 10K. So the fees will be able to circumvent for what you would lose. And if you're in it long enough, you'll be able to actually make more. And we teach people how to deploy these yield farming strategies that market makers have been doing since the 19th century, and how to profit and eventually get to the point where you're playing with house money. So you don't have to really worry about impermanent loss. Or if you are, we show you how to minimize it. So if that sounds interesting to you and you want to learn how to do this professionally with an elite community of coaches and members, as well as a world-class course that teaches you all these things step by step in our Know It All Academy, click the link in the description, book a free strategy session. You'll talk to me or one of our coaches. We'll see if our platform is a good fit for you. If not, we're happy to point you in the right direction, and you'll get off the call smarter, because we'll answer any questions you have on crypto or yield farming. But other than that, I like to conclude this video. If you got value, I ask that you drop a like, drop a comment, share with a friend. But other than that, I thank you guys for tuning in. I love every single one of you watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and trade safe.